President Joe Biden is headed to Egypt tonight to attend the annual climate summit known as COP27. The event began this past Sunday, but the president said that he would hold off on attending until after the midterm elections. Earlier today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi addressed an audience at the event, talking about the future of green energy. Ed O'Keefe joins me now for more on this and the president's response to the midterm results. The truth be told, we're going to talk a little bit about the climate summit, and then we're getting right into the midterms. So, President Biden is headed to Egypt. It's COP27. What are the issues that he's expected to focus on? What's the message he's expected to leave behind?
Keep it up, in essence, telling the world they've got to keep working to aggressively bring down CO2 levels and make sure that the world doesn't slip into a broader climate crisis. This is a big priority for him, of course, and his administration. They've secured funding to work on climate change issues and mitigation in the coming years. A lot of this just hasn't materialized here in the United States quite yet. And it's a reminder that one of those issues, it is one of those issues that perhaps the president will struggle to get achieved fully the way he'd like in the coming years, now that Republicans have made gains and are poised to take control of at least the House, possibly also the Senate. But he'll be on the ground in Egypt for only about 3 hours before he heads to Cambodia and Indonesia for other summits that are always on the calendar this time of year and that were sort of pushed back knowing that the U.S. elections were underway. This stop in Egypt wasn't fully expected until more recently, but they realized that, or the president certainly wanted to be able to stop by, even if he'll only be on the ground for about 3 hours, in about 24 hours. It's just about now, tomorrow, that he will be addressing that conference and continuing to push to lower CO2 levels.
All right, so let's get into the midterms now. President Biden was asked about his strategy going forward in light of the results. This was a bit of his response.
I'm not going to change anything in any fundamental way.
Okay, so yes, it wasn't a red wave, but as you just pointed out, Republicans did make gains. And I don't know if the results of the midterm elections has given either party sort of a strong mandate. But based on polling, is this what voters want? More of the same, more of the last 2 years?
I think he is going to, and his team certainly is relishing the fact that the results ultimately are going to not be as bad as they should have been if you follow recent political history. But remember, Democrats had been warning, and we certainly had seen and had been hedging ever since the Supreme Court decision in May was leaked and then it was made official in June, that, taking away abortion rights, something so fundamental, was something that was likely to scramble the results. And while most of the attention was on sort of general concerns about the direction of the country, and that is generally what a midterm election is sort of based on, that Supreme Court decision had a way of scrambling things, and it did. You saw in exit polls that abortion rights essentially was the number 2 concern, or a top concern, for many voters who showed up. It was a big factor in things like the Pennsylvania Senate race and governor's races there, the one state where the president had spent a lot of time believing that he could help Democrats win that state. So, even though he still faces numbers like this, suggesting that he's hurting the country or not making a big difference, even though 2/3 of the country says they don't want him to run again, he essentially brushed that off and said, I'm going to continue going forward and plan to make my re-election intentions known next year. And yes, there'll probably have to be some compromise with Republicans, but unless or until they take full control of the House or Senate, he's not necessarily ready to do that. And he said he'll get back to focusing on that once he gets back from Egypt and Asia.
And we know that there are 3 Senate races that we're still looking at. We're probably going to find out the outcome of Georgia's last, because Georgia goes to a runoff.
Emery, our friends here at the National Park Service made it so hard for me to hear that. Let's just do that again.
All right. So what I was saying was, and if the friends at the National Park Service want to cooperate, which they have, okay, great, is that, we're still waiting the outcome of at least 3 key races. The Senate race in Georgia is probably going to be the last one because it goes to a runoff. Do we have an idea of the type of role President Biden will play in the Georgia race? Because that one could be, could make all the difference.
Yeah, we'll wait and see whether he actually goes down there at all. Remember, he didn't make stops in Georgia during this campaign season whatsoever, either for Raphael Warnock or Stacey Abrams, who's running for governor. Vice President Harris had been eager to be there as well. She never went. Look, they don't poll well down there. And the president had made clear, I will do whatever is needed to help candidates on the ballot, even if that means staying away. He's been through enough of these over his 50-year career to know that, you know, sometimes the president's someone you want to be standing with and sometimes he isn't. And he's fine with it as long as Democrats are doing what they need to do to win. So we'll see. The dynamic will be different, though, in this next one. Because by the time that election is held, it will be known, should be known, my goodness, who will be in control of the House and whether or not the Arizona and Nevada Senate races went to Democrats or Republicans. So having that binary choice down in Georgia, and Georgia voters knowing that they're ultimately the ultimate and the last deciding factor, will likely have a big effect on turnout. And so if he feels the need, if the Warnock campaign feels the need to have him come down, you better believe he'll take up residency if that's what they ask of him.
All right. Ed O'Keefe, thank you.
Take care.